Update: husband wants a poly marriage after already having a girlfriend. Original post. New to Reddit and just created this to get some advice. I hope I am in the right community. Okay, so my husband and I have been married for 23 years. We have never dated or even kissed anyone else. Our story is long, with ups and downs. I will try to make this short, but feel free to ask any questions, as there's a lot of backstory. As we've gotten older, we've become more open-minded, especially me, learning and breaking free from what society and religion have boxed as acceptable relationships. My husband has always felt like something was missing in his heart and mind throughout our marriage. There have been about 5 times in our relationship where he met someone who helped fill a little bit of this hole. But since we were both clearly monogamous, I was very upset, so upset that I couldn't function, and we would take a break. In the end, we always came back together. Nothing physical ever happened, but the emotional cheating was heartbreaking for me. I now have more of an open mind, however. He said that after doing some research and soul-searching, he feels like he needs more than one woman to be in a relationship with. But not in general, specifically a woman from 5 years ago, with whom he had one of those connections. She cut it off because she wanted a physical relationship with him, but he couldn't cross that line. Because she was so upset, her husband found out, and they cut ties. But now he wants to date her, and stay married to me. He says that eventually, he wants us both to be in equal types of relationships with him. And okay, I can think about this and see if it's something I'd be comfortable with. The problem is that things started back up between them seriously about 4 months ago. About a month ago, they started making out and kissing, and he just told me about this today. He wasn't even going to mention the kissing. I had to ask him directly. He said he plans on having a full relationship with her, sex and all. His plan is to be with me as we have been, and have her as a girlfriend too. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Polyamory is something I had already been pondering for myself, so I'm wondering if maybe, if I had someone else as well, we could keep what we have and both be happier. So I'm thinking about it. But it's really hard for me not to feel hurt over him already having someone, dating someone, and them making out, cuddling, and kissing without talking to me first. I'm furious and also sad. To make matters worse, a year ago I fell really ill and have been on disability ever since. So I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out what I want while also trying to ignore the thought that if we aren't together anymore, how would I live and survive? He told me that he 100% will not stop seeing her or moving forward, but that he does want things to stay the same with us, and that I can decide if that's what I want and let him know. Am I putting too much importance on the kiss? Am I overreacting to what he's already done? I also asked if this would be a situation where we are all together, knowing each other and being around each other. But he said he doesn't see that working, that he wants his relationship with her totally separate, and us not having anything to do with each other. Knowing both of us, he doesn't think it would work well. I need advice, please. I don't really have anyone to talk to. And I know poly requires a lot of honesty and openness, but I can't help but feel like he's already broken that. I don't know. Any advice or thoughts are greatly appreciated. Thanks. Reading the top comments before the update. Your spouse, unfortunately, has decided to end your marriage and abandon you. You need to make decisions with that reality in mind. This is him deciding to cheat with your permission. Call everyone. Call friends, call family, call support services, call doctors, look up your city, county, and state health resources. Tell everyone your marriage has ended because your spouse has decided to take on a new girlfriend. Do not let pain or fear keep you isolated. You are not the first person with a disability to have to rebuild after abandonment. There are resources for you. I'm really sorry they are being so cruel to you. Do not accept this. Call divorce lawyers and start your exit plan now. Thank you for this reply. I feel like since he has told me his needs and what he wants, and has now put it in my court, that if I leave, it's now on me. I've broken our home with our kids, I've thrown away 23 years of marriage, I've ended what we have because I chose to leave. Not even 3 years ago, when something similar happened and we were thinking about separating, I did the thing of telling family, friends, everyone, that he told me he didn't want to be with me anymore. So we weren't. And he did it on my birthday. He said it's partially my fault for freaking out so much and overreacting about him just wanting a close emotional relationship with another woman, a different one than this one. Anyway, during that time, he was so sad and lonely. He had no one and nowhere to go, and I felt bad for him. Even though I was heartbroken and crying every night too. But now, with this woman, the one from 6 years ago, who was out of his life for 3.5 years and is now single again. This one is different. She apparently is the whole package and fills all the holes in his heart that are still there. This one he actually wants a physical relationship with too. I told him all I have ever wanted was to be loved by someone so much that they would choose me. And he said he does, he would just also choose her. Update. So, I have learned a lot about how he feels about this other woman. And I have done some soul searching. This is what I ended up doing. He claimed he wanted us both, separate but equal partners. And I sat with that for a bit. Then after some talks, I realized I only had one very important question: if he had to choose now, who would it be? I gave him an example. If she came to him and said it was too hard for her to continue the open relationship and she couldn't do it anymore, what would he do? Who would he stay with? And he wouldn't say the words, but he had the look on his face that told me he would pick her. I told him that isn't a balanced relationship. That it isn't poly. That she holds all the power. That he will do whatever she wants because he has to be with her, so he will do anything she asks, including leaving me. So then I told him it wasn't fair to me. That his proposal would put me at the bottom of importance, below both of them. I told him that's not fair. That I don't deserve to be someone's second choice, someone's back burner. And so I told him I couldn't stay with him. I packed a suitcase and stayed the night with my sister down the road. We met a couple of times afterward to go over logistics. I set a reasonable timeline for him to get his stuff out of the house. I set boundaries that I didn't want to see him and didn't want communication unless it was about logistics, bills or rides for the kids. I haven't seen him since. It's been a very roller coaster time for me. We were together for 25 years, married for 23. I found the girlfriend's social media accounts. We have mutual friends, as she was his old co-worker. Seeing her adult daughter make a post talking about what a good person she is, I wanted so badly to say that her mom is the type of person who dates married men. I'm not going to. But I really want to message the girlfriend. I'm thinking I might spend some time crafting it over the next week and send it. I have quite the journey ahead of me. To all those who saw through his BS and called it what it was, cheating, and who encouraged me to leave him, and who are upset on my behalf, thank you. It was really eye-opening to have such a unanimous response to my post, and it helped give me the courage I needed. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I just hope someday I can find someone who treats me as an equal, a partner, someone who would choose me over others. Reading the top comments before the update. This is how monkey branching from one relationship to another looks in real life. I'm sorry you have to divorce, but I love the tone of this post. Very mature and confident. There are lessons after all this pain. Thank you. That means a lot. I've really been trying to handle this in the best way I can. And yes, I am definitely putting in the time to learn from this whole thing. But I really want to message the girlfriend. Thinking I might spend some time crafting it over the next week and send it. Don't send it. This is just stirring things up, and it's the opposite of cutting off your cheating ex. Plus, she could have been anyone. Place the blame where it belongs, on the one who was actually in a relationship with you and had the power to make choices regarding it, your ex-husband. There could have been armies of women pining for your husband, but none of them could have done anything if he was faithful and wanted to keep the relationship with you. I will try not to contact her. Let's see how strong I can be on this. That is such heartbreak. He sounds selfish, immature, and selfish. Did I already say that? I'm sorry. He gave no thought to you at all. Should be a huge red flag for her, but Godspeed, lady. You take care of yourself now, and when he comes crawling back to you in 6 months to a year, remember, he showed you who he is. Oh, I'll remember. Lol. Also, you mentioned he gave no thought to me at all. The heartbreaking thing is my ex has been very clear he did think about me. He said he felt like he was between a rock and a hard place, that his girlfriend kept wanting more and more, and if he didn't give it to her, she would leave. So he weighed what it would do to me, he weighed that he would be breaking his strict moral code, and he weighed how he would feel if she left. And he chose her. Which to me is a hell of a lot worse than not thinking of me at all. Second update. It has been over 7 months since my first post, and so many people saw it. I even saw it reposted in Best of Reddit Updates, and a YouTube channel did a reaction to it. That was crazy and surreal. The light roasting hurt a bit, but I get it. I wanted to share an update with everyone. Reading back on my first post, from the day after he told me he wanted to keep both his girlfriend and myself, I'm both embarrassed and proud. Embarrassed that I was in that mindset, and proud that I can see how far I've really come. As I said in my first update, I ended things in mid-March. I've been doing a lot of learning and growing since then. I've learned a lot about covert narcissistic behaviors, I've learned about communication in relationships, and about setting healthy boundaries. I can now see so clearly what was unhealthy, and honestly toxic, about our relationship and the cycle I was stuck in. I learned that what I thought and felt in the relationship was valid, and I don't have to accept his verbiage and gaslighting as fact. In my original post, I never called it cheating. And that was because he never considered it cheating since he, supposedly, didn't actually sleep with them. In the past, if I called it cheating, he would get upset, explain why it wasn't cheating, and I would just believe he was right. I read a book about covert narcissists, and there was so much in there that was exactly my experience. Sometimes it was an exact quote of thoughts I'd had before. I've stopped allowing his thoughts and feelings to override my own, and it feels so good. After the affair 3 years ago, with a different woman, we were apart long enough that I started to see what was wrong with how he treated me. I learned who I was without him. And even though I believed his words and promises when he persuaded me to give him another chance, I never lost all the progress I had made. Because of that, and because of the amazing support I ended up having, I was able to finally break the cycle and be free. That's not to say it's been easy. But we officially filed for divorce almost 2 weeks ago as co-petitioners. My state is a no-fault divorce state, and he didn't object to anything I presented. So the paperwork aspect was relatively easy. The emotions were all over the place. Sometimes I get angry thinking about his cheating partner or girlfriend being welcomed by family and friends. While the majority of the fault is his, it's not like she had zero part in it. I know I can't control how anyone decides to treat her. If they immediately welcome her and bring her into the fold, it makes me feel like I didn't matter to them. Didn't matter enough to be upset on my behalf. Like her actions, which hurt me deeply, don't matter. The anger of the betrayal hits hard sometimes. About 2 months after I told him I deserved better and kicked him out, we had a couple of long conversations. I could tell he was miserable. He said it was the worst thing he had ever experienced. He said he felt ashamed of himself and his actions and that he would never forgive himself. He apologized many times, for different things he realized he had done wrong when we were together. Having fully and forever lost me, he now sees just how much of a foundation I was. I say all of this without fully trusting it. His actions never matched his words, and I wish I had recognized the manipulation years ago. I am really proud of myself for how I've dealt with this whole thing and for how far I've come. This time was so different from the others. I didn't have that phase of who am I without him? Or the mourning of 25 years. I already did those things after the affair 3 years ago. Breaking free from the love bombing, devaluing, and discard narcissistic cycle is very, very difficult. I wish I had been strong enough to do it during any of the other 6 times before, but at least it wasn't 6 more times down the road. Now I am free, strong, and I know my own value. While I don't want to settle down with someone new for the rest of my life right now, I have been thinking about starting to date again. I think it would be fun, and honestly, it might help in my healing journey. Wish me luck. And don't worry, no red flags will be ignored. Thanks, everyone. Almost every single one of these wants to try poly. People just want to sleep with other people, and usually one person in particular, without the consequences of ending their relationship. Her ex is like the relationship version of those sovereign citizens. They get pulled over for speeding and say, "I don't recognize your authority," and then get tased, and we all cheer. That's how I feel with OP dumping the husband, and he comes back like, "Turns out I'm a piece of crap," and we all cheer. Having fully and forever lost me, he sees clearly just how much of his foundation I was. Every time I see something like this, I just know this dork is talking about housework. Definitely practical stuff, but usually people like him are also emotional leeches. They get constant emotional validation and stability from their partners. He's probably realizing now that he doesn't know his new partner well enough to predict her, to know if she'll stay, or if she'll tolerate his bullcrap. She was already acting entitled and demanding while he was still with OP. The affair partner created a dynamic where she holds the power, and I suspect he's realizing that now and feeling uneasy. He always had a partner who was blindly loyal and swallowed his nonsense. That's gone now. He's probably realizing he liked that dynamic with OP a lot more than what he has now. Next story. My fiancé implied I was hiding something and then gave me an ultimatum when I asked for space. We're supposed to get married in 8 months. I don't know what to do. I just came back from a 2-week work trip. My fiancé and I are supposed to get married in 8 months. Something happened 2 nights ago that shook something in me, and I don't know how to move forward. I was finishing work and my manager asked if I wanted to grab a drink. I texted my fiancé and told him I was heading out with her, but my phone was still in work mode, so I didn't see his messages come in. He called me about an hour later. I didn't want to answer in front of my manager in the middle of a conversation, so I declined the call with the auto text "I'll call you back later." He immediately called again within seconds. When I answered, he sounded upset and started with, "Why are you canceling my call? What is this new behavior?" The accusatory tone surprised me, and honestly embarrassed me, because my manager could hear. I stepped outside and explained. 1. I wasn't ignoring him. 2. I was literally with my female manager, and he knows about her. 3. He already knew I was going for drinks. 4. And I've declined his calls before when I'm talking to my mom. Instead of calming down, he made a comment about how it seemed like I didn't want him to see me. That hit me hard, because to me, that implied he thought I was hiding something. For context, we've been together for more than 5 years. I have never given him any reason to distrust me. Both of our locations are shared. If he was worried, he could have checked. But instead, it felt like he jumped straight to suspicion. I told him that comment hurt me. He apologized for his tone, but refused to acknowledge the implication. When I asked him directly what made him think I didn't want him to see me, he kept saying he doesn't know. I asked for some space to process because I didn't want to escalate the fight. And his response was, "If you need space for small things like this, then how will you handle real problems in marriage? If you don't give me an answer soon, I'll tell my parents to cancel the wedding arrangements." It felt like an ultimatum instead of a conversation. I told him I won't make any decision while I'm feeling pressured and that we can talk when we're both calm. We tried talking on the phone later, but it ended with me crying and him hanging up on me. Since then, no calls, no texts, and he posted a story drinking alone in a bar. I don't know how to read anything anymore. But I do know this: the trust issue he projected onto me did not come from anything I did. And I'm scared that if this surfaced now, it will surface again during marriage, during bigger conflicts, during harder times. So I'm here asking strangers because I'm too emotionally flooded to trust my own judgment. Is this something that can be worked through with emotional maturity and communication? Or is this showing me that we are not ready for marriage? I would meet up with him in public and point blank ask him what he did while you were gone for 2 weeks to project so hard on you and demand to see his phone. Normally when someone comes up with accusations out of nowhere, they are cheating. Exactly where my head went. Especially him drinking alone at a bar days later. He seems guilty of something and it's coming out as anger and accusations toward the wife. If you need space for small things like this, then how will you handle real problems in marriage? If you don't give me an answer soon, I'll tell my parents to cancel the wedding arrangements. I literally recoiled when I read this. You should cancel the wedding because there are massive alarm bells going off here. It's good you're seeing them before you got married.